Colin Michael, how's it going, man?
What's happening, Fran? Good to see you, brother.
Good to see you too. I wish it was in person, man.
Well, I mean, it will be soon. I know it will
Yeah,
be.
yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We got more stuff to do. So I'm just going to into the history of how we know each other and who you are. So Colin and I met when I was touring with Five Finger Death Punch in Saskatoon. Is that right?
There was the Saskatoon Center.
Yes. I remember being backstage. I was like, "Who's this guy?" You know. And we started talking. I guess you were on a hunting trip.
Yeah, sure was, sure was. I was supposed to take the Death Punch guys. I think y'all were coming through. I think 2 or 3 weeks later,
Mm.
and it was just a kind of a fluke that we happened to be stopping in to go hunt, and but we were taking the guys to shoot. I guess 2 or 3 weeks or so after that, that day we met.
Yeah, and I think that how what was that 10 years?
I was what
Was that longer?
2013 or 14, somewhere around in there.
God, man, that's crazy. Anyway, we've always remained friends. You've been cool, And to dig into your background, tell a little bit to the audience here how you came into this. Guy does it all. Man, he's a financier or a financial advisor. He owns a what is it, a defense company, I guess.
Yeah, firearms manufacturing company.
Yeah. And you were nice enough to build a custom OSU fan for my best friend for his birthday. And so talk to me how all these paths just kind of crossed each other.
There's I guess there's quite a bit of paths. There's different chapters, as we enter that fun game of life. But I kind of as I went through the college world I actually played music through college. I even took a year off trying to kind of figure out if I wanted to do music or figure out a college route. And I ended up, one of the guys in our band at that time ended up going into the military. And I was like, well, I guess I'll go back to school, and went back and kind of finished that in a finance degree, and went and worked with my father, and hopped in shortly after that, and back up and my buddy that had left and hopped in the military and came back in town, and we hopped right back into the music world as side gigs. So it was always finance and money and
Yeah.
music at that point. And we did that from 2003 to about 2010. I was always in the background with the money biz, and kind of as we formed our core, when we put this band together, that was actually really an awesome time. And I like the structure on how we did it. We kind of came out like in our town. If you wanted to go see at the time a cover band, it would be, Margaritaville or that kind of stuff.
Right.
Sweet Home Alabama, Skinner kind of stuff, and your casino type. And we wanted to come out for us like, you don't see any hard rock genre out here. You had a lot of your screamo metal, but we wanted to come out with a hard rock genre, and we came out as a cover band first, and till we found all our core members, and then we started writing. Had the opportunity to start opening for larger acts, LA Guns and Drowning Pool and Edema, and just as some of the bigger acts would roll through and play clubs, we would be the guys that came to be the go-to. And we kind of dissolved that in 2010 because I wanted to be dad.
Okay.
I really did. I didn't want to end up out kind of where we were. We're getting kind of to the point of, hey, we need to make a decision musically. Is it time for us to really go out of our region and really start hitting the road further? And that's kind of where we were. That was a tough spot to go. What do I walk away from a really high paying career and that I can, cover a family with, or Taco Bell at the back of a van? And,
Right.
and the other side of that too is I really wanted to be dad, and I really wanted to be present for my daughter and be there for moments. And so I did. And, kind of obviously still in the financial world, but that was where this firearm world kind of came into play and filled that gap and that void. Because I don't like to watch TV or sit still very well, and created a firearms manufacturing company out of boredom, and circled right back into music and enter Zoltan from Death Punch, and that's how I met you, and
Yep.
I mean, it really was like, I think it's one of these monsters. Like you think you can kind of leave it or put it to the side for a bit, but your heart's still in it, and that just circled right back in and ended up back in it in a different fashion, making rifles for just really cool artists over the last 15 or so years, and had some neat military contracts we got to do, and ended up being in every academy across the country, which was kind of cool to walk in and
Wow.
go, "That's mine."
That is
Um,
cool. I did not know that.
that was a really neat thing. I remember the first day that I had somebody text me like, "Hey, your stuff's in the academy here in town." I immediately left to go like, "I got to go check this out."
Uh,
Like my stuff is literally in the academy store. That's just kind of cool.
so do you manufacture everything here in the States, like all your parts and
Yes,
machine
one
them and
hundred
everything?
percent. Yeah, 100%. Especially too if you need like law enforcement type contracts and stuff like that. As military is 100% yes, but law enforcement too can be persnickety, and they want all U.S. based, and we did too, just to farm everything from United States of America.
Okay. Right
I
on.
did that, and then it's kind of over the last couple of years, with the path that life has taken on, and was able to just kind of planets align and stars align, and boom, we circle right back into the music.
Well, I was going to ask, man, like I know how I've met all my talented musician friends, through touring and word of mouth gets around, like first I'm touring with Slipknot, Slayer, Seven Dust. They're great, right? But they're really hard rock, and they don't make the kind of income that a Nickelback or a Stained or Seether make. And excuse me, I got a little cough here, folks. Um, Next thing you know, man, I'm working for Stained, making double the money, right? Traveling way better than I even deserved. And we're in Europe, and that's when I met Seether, because Seether was warming up for Stained on those dates. We vibe great. Hey, you want to come tour with us? Sure, man. How did you get entrenched with the Disturbs, the Three Doors Down, the Seethers, and all these guys? Like, where did you come from?
Yeah, the weirdest thing, that's that the term "shoot your shot," that I guess has
Yeah.
been more the kids these days term. Um, that was one I'd followed Zoltan from Death Punch. I was like, just following him. I was like, this guy is in my mind. I was like, this guy is the Dos Equis guy.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
He is.
I mean, he was the black belt in judo. He was doing jujitsu. He's a rock star. He was driving a Ferrari. He was a boat
Driving
captain,
a monster truck.
an airplane pilot. Then the monster truck came. I was like, man, this guy does all these just neat things. And when I knew that they were bouncing through Shreveport, and I just shot a message like, hey, if you guys want to go shoot full auto suppressors and just get out of the hustle and bustle for the day, let me know. And it was 5 minutes, and I had an email from Zoltan. I think it was Zoltan the Hun or something like that was what
Yeah.
his email started at, and all it was hell yes we do. I was like, well, heck, that
He
works.
scares me so bad, man. Like, I think I worked for those guys for 3 or 4 years, like nonstop. And he's like, he's out of his fucking mind. I was just, one day he's like, hey, come down to Newport, man. We're going to go on my yacht. I'm like, you have a yacht? Sure enough, man, we went out whale watching and then stopped and ate some crab leg. And the next day he's like, hey, we're going to fly in my little plane to Catalina. And we pull up and I see the plane. It's the size of a VW bug. I'm like, I'm not getting on that, dude.
No.
He's like, come on, man. What is this shit? Let's go. He's got a thick Hungarian accent. I'm like, this is where I draw the line, man. I'm not getting on that thing. So I slapped a couple of GoPros on there, and he went off and flew back and called me a pussy, but it's okay. I was not getting in that thing, man. I don't do well with like super compressed areas. Like I did a private tour of Pearl Harbor with what's her name? Tulsi Gabbard. I'm
Oh
friends with
wow.
her husband. Yeah. And she's I guess was a senator or a congresswoman in Hawaii. And the husband's like, hey, you want to go for a private tour of, the wife and I'm like, hell yeah, let's go. Anyway, there's a submarine that looks like it's about this wide. That's a football field long. I started going in, I'm halfway through, and I'm like, I got to get out of here immediately, if not sooner, because it was just so, man, you couldn't put your arms and touch either side. This thing was the size of a football field, dude. Like, who would do this? So, okay, so now we know how you met all these rock stars. Was it the same way when you met like the dudes from Three Doors and Disturbed, just reaching out anonymously?
After it started with Death Punch, their security guy, John Simons, that was out with them. And I remember him reaching out. He's like, hey, dude, I'm out with Korn right now. And Jonathan's asking, like, what are these jerseys? Because I remember I sent up a jersey to him. I sent a jersey, I think, to Ivan. Mm-hmm. And Jonathan Davis was asking about it. And it turned into that. And then I reached out to, it might have been around the hired gun time frame when that rifle was coming up to fruition. And then you connected me with the Three Doors guys.
Oh, I remember that now.
Yeah. And then, you connected me with Chris. Chris led over to Dan Donegan.
Oh, Dan Donegan.
Yeah, and once because went quiet when they before they dropped that album with Sound of Silence on it.
Mm-hmm.
Just shocked everybody.
Nobody knew. Not even me, man. I'm super close with Dan and Dave.
Yeah, that was funny and how they do it. It's like we couldn't even put a tour bus on reserve because that would have told everybody that we got the tour bus on reserve.
Yeah, and then funny enough, through meeting the Disturbed guys, you're able to propose to Holly, your now fiance, on stage with Disturbed, packed arena. Tell me how that came about.
That was another one of those shoot your shot deals. I reached out to Mike. I've built 2 rifles for him over the years, and I said, Mike, this is a hard question, and if it's a no, I totally get it. But I said, if it's cool, I would love to. If y'all would allow it, I would love to propose to my fiance at one of your shows. And he's like, normally we don't do that, but it's you. Let me go ask the guys.
Yeah.
And sure enough, about 4 hours later, he texts me back. He's like, guess what, dude? You're in. And I was like, doesn't matter what city it is. I didn't know if they were going to have any things. And it actually worked out. The very last show was in Vegas at the MGM Grand. So I could kind of arrange it. She knew it was coming. She already had the ring. And I would kind of tease little teaser pictures of like, do a selfie and it's, hanging over here on the finger. And, but we hit the concert. Jake Lawson is, I'm connected with him because he's out with them. And he's kind of giving me, he's like, all right, you've got your seats over here. He's like, make sure you get a will call. And after they finish the first album, I need you to get down on the floor and, hit the floor. And sure enough, that's in between the light and Sound of Silence. They called me, called up, and that was a real moment. I had practiced that quite a bit just so I could get the nerves out. Like they're going to hand me a microphone and I want to be in front of 16,000 people. I don't want to sit there and go blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And so I did. I pulled out this. We weren't each other's kind of first love, but we promised to be the last, and had a couple words, and everybody was off the stage, and I had actually had to look for David so I could hand him the mic, be like, would you hold this so I could get down on the knee and get this out of my pocket?
Oh my God, that's funny, man. Those guys are the coolest, man. I remember, I haven't toured now for 8 years, probably. I don't know, and I don't miss it at all. People always like, do you miss touring? No, I don't. I did it for almost 25 years, rot your soul.
I get that, yeah.
But, I picked up a camera again, which I hadn't done in a long time because I was busy making movies. And I bought a film camera. I hadn't shot film in 15, 20 years because nobody wants it anymore. But I think it looks beautiful, right? So I bought they're not brand new, but I bought one that was still factory sealed in the box from 1995, I think, a Nikon F5 film camera. and Disturbed were playing Madison Square Garden last March. I've never shot there. I've seen shows there before, but I've never photographed in that arena. So I called up Dan Donegan. I'm like, look, man, I just got this new camera. I need to take it for a test ride. My son lives in New York. He's never been to Madison Square Garden. And before I could finish, done. I'll get you all access. You can stay in the pit the entire show with your son, by the way. So we arrive, man. We get down on the floor and into the pit. Guy closes the door behind us, and we don't leave till they're done, man. It was awesome. It was so cool. And how cool was he to allow that to happen, right? Not many people get to do that. And how many people get to propose to their now fiance on stage with Disturbed? I mean,
it was such a memorable moment. Britt, who was out there doing photographs and video, and it was cool because they did the song "The Light" after that, and they set us up on the stage, and she did a really cool photo behind us, and she's like, "I need y'all to kiss," and so she has us kiss, and of course, when David says "The Light," the audience lights up with all the phones lit up, so that looked like stars all about coming from that. It was a really cool shot. That was really cool that she did that.
I'm sure that photo will be in the man pit.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about this other turn. So you just told us you've been, in bands previously or whatnot. I had no idea.
I did. We got the opportunity. It's like I was making that as we were trucking along, and we got the opportunity of writing, and we had the core members that we wanted, and we all fit together, and we started writing, and we really leveled up with our playing ability because we rehearsed religiously and we wrote religiously, and we were any national acts that were coming through at your local venues, we were their support.
Okay.
I started with, I think, Days of the New, and I think we did LA Guns and Edema and Drowning Pool, and I just had a lot of those kind of. Yeah. They weren't your, I guess, top level, but they would be the support for them.
Sure.
And that was really neat. But it kind of got us to this level of this decision time. Do I? Is it time for me to? Are we trying to do this and go out and hit the road? But I was also about to have a daughter, and I really wanted to be dad, and I wanted to be present for my little girl.
Were you a singer then, or just guitarist?
I was singer. I was singer full time. And I was guitar about 60%.
Oh, okay, that's cool. So then, a few months ago, I get a text or a Facebook message from you, being like, "Hey, man, I'm doing this thing. I want to see how we can get involved." I'm like, what is he talking about? And all of a sudden you send me this song, Breathing Home. And I was in my car. I pressed play. I was like, this is Colin? Like I couldn't, not saying, I didn't know that you could sing or play guitar or do anything. So it took me aback for a minute because the production on it sounds like a major label release. That's how far you went on this thing. Not only that, but you also hired Chet Roberts, who's the guitar player for Three Doors Down, to help you produce this song.
Yeah,
right?
Sure did. That sounds like my yard people just decided to hop through.
Yeah, it's okay. So how did you get introduced to Chet and be able to ask that question? Was that another big swing?
No, fortunately I made a rifle for him. We got, when you connected me with the Three Doors guys over the years, and then Chris introduced me to the Better Life Foundation. Yep. And I really, I got a big heart for that just because of how they ran it. And that was 100% funds in and 100% funds out. Mm-hmm. And he's like, maybe we could figure a way that you could be a part of this. And then I did consistently. I think we were consistent for 10 years and raised over 50 grand in that time frame and gave it to their foundation, which was just a really cool thing. But I remember at one of those events, Chet offered up, he was like, because one of the nights was a live auction, and Chet offered up a recording studio, and I was like, oh, that's really cool.
Oh, damn.
And the gentleman at the time, his name was Chris Irwin. He was the head of Kill Cliff. He was the president of Kill Cliff and was running the show for them. And I know he had gone up and recorded, and I followed that. And I was like, that's actually really kind of neat that you got the opportunity to go up and do that. So it just stuck in my mind. And I reached out to Chet about, I guess, September, October last year. I said, I think I've got something. I thought about working with some local recording studio here, but I said I really want to take this further to a higher caliber, a little bit more professional level. And I reached out to Chet, and kind of away we went.
That is awesome. What was that experience like being in the studio with him? And I'm sure you probably in studios previously, right? So when you're at that next level, talk to
It
me about
was.
how that. Yeah.
It was different, because we had a killer studio here, but I would say the experience was mid-level. It was good, and it was a good producer, but it wasn't a really just high end that could really fill the sound out and fill the volume of it
Yeah.
out. And Chet added just the dynamics that really fulfilled it. And the amazing part when we were creating, he said, what kind of vibe or how are you feeling this? I'm like, I kind of this, almost late 90s acoustic rock intro. We finish it out with this rock vibe. And probably a day or two behind that, I came across the live version of the Nixon song Sister, which is hilarious because we used to cover that years ago. And as I come across that, and I send that over to Chet. I was like, this is the vibe. I was like, they had a great live show for the song where they started acoustic and finished this out electric. I was like, that's kind of where I just hear this going. And we got that vibe. And then, a full circle goes all the way around that the drummer for the Nixons is in the video, watching and
Right.
recording his phone.
That's funny you say that because, when you and I had reconnected to start talking about this project we're on together, I went to go see Journey last week. They played here in Oklahoma at the Paycom Center, and I brought John Humphrey, the drummer for Seether and the Nixons, previously with me. And I guess you'd text him that little scenario that used to cover where at will call getting our tickets. Go, hey man, look, Colin just sent me this text. He reads me the text. I'm like, yeah, I already know. I talked to Colin earlier. He told me the coincidence, man. It's so cool.
Which was hilarious. It didn't hit me for like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And I was like, wait, are you serious? That's the weirdest coincidence that occurred.
Right. Yeah. So then you hit me up and were like, hey man, I've got this song. I listened to it. Completely just polished, man. It is so well produced. The performances are straight on. The vocals are killer. Like I said, it fills the room. It's really, really good. So I'd encourage everybody to go listen to it. It's called Breathing Home by Michael Collins. But you called me, it was like, hey man, I need a music video. Have a listen to this song, see what you think. And the challenging part as a director when you listen to this music is like, because the music video is objective, you can do whatever you want. Ride a pterodactyl, it doesn't matter. It's just whatever you think it is. But I listened to the lyrics and I kind of leaned in on it and I was like, this sounds a little faith-based, kind of, but not in your face or shoving it down your throat. Talk to me about the origins of that song, the lyrics especially.
Man, it was really finding from coming out of just a really hard several years of just a tough relationship, and that we really became toxic to each other. And I was really dragging in and staying in so I could continue to be dad. And while that was dragging us both down, I think, and we finally decided to call it quits. And that's a dark time, and divorce sucks. It's no fun. But also I was really leaning heavily into alcohol, and to the point that it's not healthy. And it was to the point like I would get, I'd plan a Friday lunch to where it's wine on Fridays, and I would wine it till the evening. And literally I would want to wine or beer throughout the weekend, and so I could get to Monday faster. And because I was just in an unhappy place. And it's like talking with some friends and family, and it's like I can't keep doing this. And we called it quits. And that was really finding finding peace and finding passion. And along came a friend request. and a friend request that completely changed my life and
Right.
changed it for the good, and really brought an uplifting positivity to me. And that just really ignited that fire again.
Right.
That brought that spark, and it gave, you know, when you've got a partner that gives you the support uh, of them, that's helping you build what you want to or what you foresee. That's an undeniably one of the greatest things that a woman can do for a man. And
Right.
when she brings the peace, that peace and that power to it, it's, you know, it almost makes us unstoppable.
Right. I remember writing a couple of treatments, and you picked the one, which I think was the right one, man. We hit it on the nail on the head for sure.
Oh,
But
huge.
yeah. No, it was great, man. I think it came out great as well. But let's talk about the process of making the video. Like this came together fast.
It did, man. I know you humped it having to get the
Yeah.
location and all this stuff and the crew and the timing.
Yeah.
We did, but
Yeah.
all those planets came into alignment too.
And we did a photo shoot, which, by the way, the pictures came out amazing, I think. And the video did too. Talk to me, walk me through. I mean, now you're seeing all your rock star friends in this arena, right? Big cameras, lights, staging. What did that feel like to be there on set with an A-list team? I'm not calling myself an A-list director, but like we had all the goods, man.
It was because you brought such a high level of a game, and that made the process swimmingly smooth.
Mm,
It really was, and it's great because, you know, I've had enough time behind, or not behind, I get in front of the camera, being on camera
hmm
from my other business and running 30-minute television shows, and then constantly week after week being on TV, which was great. I think from allowing me to be comfortable because it didn't bug me whatsoever.
No, it was
Um,
totally perfect.
but when you've got a team that was so on point, that was such a smooth operation to bring an extremely high caliber and execute. I
Yeah,
mean, that really was.
man. I learned early on. There's a producer, I'm sure you've heard of, David Foster.
Yeah.
He's done everybody. Whitney Houston. I will always love all those songs. But he told me when I was filming him for Hired Gun, he goes, "Man, this is what a great project, what a great concept, and what a great team you have." He goes, "I was taught early on when I was up and coming as a producer to always surround yourself with people better than you because it's just going to elevate your game." And that's what I try to do in all my stuff, man, because I don't know it all, right? I never went to film school or anything. So the fact that I'm sitting here is because I was on the shoulders of other people better than me, and they guided me.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So I give credit to all those, everybody, man. And when I finally got down to editing the music videos, when I started getting the chills, and the feels, I was like, "Oh man, this is this is good." We cast this kid named Atlas that you'd never even met before,
Mm-mm.
and he's never done anything before. I just met him through his mom. He's a cute kid, and I'm like, he'll work. He's friendly. He doesn't get into too much. Dude, you would think that was yours and Holly's son, the way he
He was
reacted to you
killer.
guys.
That kid nailed it.
Yeah, man, he was so good, and just kind of like the way he's looking at you guys and everything else is just so sweet and pure and innocent that you could not tell it was not your kid.
Yeah, he
You
did.
know,
He knocked it out the park.
yeah, it was so cool. And then the makeup artist that made you up to make you look like you were still using or abusing.
I was still on that 3-day bender.
I was like, dude, how did you make his eyes so baggy? Oh, it's just, color tracing or whatever. I'm like, that's crazy. I would never have thought that.
Yeah, that was wild. That was.
Yeah. Yeah. So the exciting news is the world premiere of the video is coming next Wednesday, the 22nd of April at 7
7 p.m.
p.m.
Central.
Central Time. Central Time. So the floor is yours.
Man, the anxiety for this is huge, just because it's something new for me. I think it's huge. We're looking forward to it. We're throwing I've got a private party here that we've got this just amazing car vault rented out. That it's got some high end cars in there. Has this really neat room with TVs. Almost looks like a high level poker room. So I think we're going to have a cool, intimate vibe with that, and just allowing for that experience. I got a lot of people that are in support to help boost that, and just help me bring this story to life that you brought to life, which was it's neat. I feel the same way, like as you discussed, like you did that. Some of the stuff on the shoulders of other people. Man, I fully get that. When I was reaching out here, when the song was kind of coming to creation, and one of our good recording guys here, which I know personally, I was like, man, I really think I want to take this up to Nashville, and I really wanted to reach out with Chet just because there's a lot more experience. There's a lot wider range, and that was riding on the shoulders of others and helping me, because this was an opportunity for me to level up and help me up my game. And we've all heard that saying, like, if you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room.
Exactly.
And I need to be in all the wrong rooms.
Well, I can tell you, man, the effort worked. I mean, it sounds like a full-blown $50,000 one-day recording set. I mean, it just sounds so well, man. How did Chet lean into you to bring the best out of you? Were there any kind of techniques he was teaching you, or?
He brought some in, especially with, really getting different dynamic in the structure of the wording of the phrasing. And one of the things you have to get out of and getting out of your head is, like, you can't be set on these exact words. How's it going to fit? We have to be able to morph these and change these just a little bit. And I think the only ones I was not going to move on was going to be the kind of the bridge or the down chorus on it. I was like, I'm going to fight you for these. Because they had a purpose that built into that song, but how everything tracking was built into it was absolutely unbelievable. But it was funny, like every time we would FaceTime about 2 times a week, or as we were tracking more and picking out the different things that we were doing. One of the things I remember him sending me over, and you can't hear it on your phone that well until you either get earbuds in and I hopped in the truck and I'm like, wait a second, is that, was that the egg shakers and the tambourine? He's like, yeah, we call that salt and pepper.
Yeah.
Okay. And then, seeing it from behind, having him inside the studio while I'm in the vocal room, and to be able to, either watch cues or see things. And then it's, hey, let's run it back and try a different direction. Which again, helps you bring your A game up, and you're leveling up, getting comfortable being uncomfortable. Because sometimes you're exploring, and you might be trying new things or coming out the gates vocally a little bit differently, and doing something different. So he did bring some of that to the table. And, while it's a little bit nerve wracking because you feel like you're on the spot, of course, because you're trying to, it's like, I've only got X amount of time here in said studio, we want to make the absolute best of it, but that's what he's there for. This is, Michael Jordan has a coach. All great athletes have a coach. This, he was not only was he a producer, he was the coach for it. It's like you telling me what to do when we're, put your phone down. Okay. But that's what you're there to help get stuff done and move it along, because the order of things and how we do it. And
dude, that video shoot went that was probably the smoothest video shoot that I've ever been on for music video. Everything was on time, on pace, and I think we even ended a little earlier than I thought we would, to be honest with you. Like, we got all the shots. I mean, we had our DP Andrew was just amazing. I know
we was cranky that last hour driving home.
Oh my God, man! Then we went to the Chicken Shack for a crew dinner after. That was fun, man. So what's next, man? I know that the video release is coming out on the 22nd. Your single's already dropped.
The single dropped, and we should be back in Nashville. confirming. I don't know if it's going to be the 8th, the 11th, or the following weekend. So I'm
Okay.
waiting on that. We had one last confirm, but we've got 2, potentially 3. We might do a reimagined something from my Reflections Burn days and bring something back to life, maybe, and just do a full recreation of it just for
Okay.
fun. But we
So how
got
many
2
songs? So two or
What's that?
three songs, 2 or 3 songs on this next run.
Yeah, we've got. I know 2 for sure, but if we can throw the third one in there, that would be elevated a little bit further. I'm excited though. We got 2 that we're going to throw out. One's going to be a little bit more deeper emotional, which I didn't even think would be possible.
Right.
And we got one that's going to be, I'll say, a little fun, pop rock, all rock style, a little Green Day, Bowling for Soup kind of fun vibe.
Yeah.
In it that I'm looking forward to, called Landmine. That should be fun.
Yeah, I heard the track. You
But
sent
yeah,
that
that's right.
track
I
to
did.
me.
I did
Yeah.
send you that musical track, so you can kind of see that's what we're looking for when we walk
Yeah.
into the studio.
And that's the one I keep singing in my head. I was like, man, I see a cool looking empty warehouse vibe with like lights streaking in and like something a little bit more intense,
Now I'm hoping too, since we just built got to do with one of my businesses, rifle for an actor. Maybe we can pull that guy in. That'd be amazing.
Oh, that's right. You were talking about, dude, that would be a cameo would be ridiculous.
That would be so much fun.
Yeah. So in doing all this, what are your HUD? Are you looking to get signed, tour, just you're having fun, like your dreams are coming true? Like what?
This truly is for me, this is the astronaut as a 6-year-old. This was my astronaut dream. But now I truly feel like a lot of the doors are opening. The timing is right. God's placed me in with the right people over the years, and that really helped make this come to fruition. And just with that timing and that purpose and where I'm at in life in this stage, absolutely, I would love that opportunity. Fortunately too, a little bit that I'm financially backing a lot of it myself. That helps.
Yeah.
That helps offset a little bit. So I
Let
don't
me
have to worry
tell
about
you,
that.
man, I always say this because everybody's like, well, do you use studio money to make your documentaries? No, I don't. Even though it's a longer road path to get your money, you have nobody, like, you don't have a record label telling you, I don't know, man, I'm not hearing it. Nobody knows better than you of what you're trying to create. You don't want somebody squashing your creativity, right?
Right.
Neither do I, but look,
fortunately too, it's not like I'm not stressed or pressured, on that note. It's
right.
not like you've got, hey, we need a new song, or we need when's that next album? It's, I get a lot less pressure. And on that, I've noticed, especially in this process, so much greater beauty has come.
Mm-hmm.
When I see it, when it's like, I'm not in a rush, Chet's not in a rush, and we get to play his track and think about it and sleep on it. And like, let's go from, this all originality, when it started in May of 2023, when I wrote the first notes for it, to where we're at now is unbelievably beautiful.
Yeah, no, it is. Well, thank you for letting me be a part of it, man. This has just been so much fun, and looking forward to the next ones. I think
I
we
am
talked about
too.
shooting. What did we talk about? Shooting 2 music videos in a day.
Yeah.
They can be done. You know. And
Well,
the way
hey,
I,
even if it's in a day or a day and even the weekend, that
yeah,
everything's already together.
yeah, I'd use the same crew. Like, it was just awesome, man. I can't wait for people to see the video on April 22nd at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. And I'm going to put links below, right, to all your socials, where the video can be seen. And I just urge you all to please like, share, comment, subscribe, all those good things, because I think you're going to be in for a surprise with this song and the video. The video is just brings it home, man.
When the song came to completion, I cried. When the video came to completion, I cried.
I cried too, man. Trust me.
It's just cool because that's, it's emotional because that's your heart, and you get to see that all, because you just see every bit of it from, the start to where it was before. Like, I've got the audio from May of 2023, literally like 3 weeks after I met Holly, when the initial riff started. And it's
Right.
like I can see all the progression videos as we've gone, and to have that completed project, that's its own little neat storyline.
Yeah. You know what's funny, man? Writing a song, you get to where it is now, is almost like making a documentary. First of all, you got to think of what the subject's going to be, just like you had to for those lyrics and music. Like, what am I going to create here? Right. So when I do something like a hired gun, I've got my concept. Musicians that play for the big stars. Got the concept. Second biggest hurdle is raising the money to go shoot the content, right? It ain't cheap, you know.
Yeah.
Producing's not cheap. Or I'm sorry, producing's not that expensive. We're going out and filming. When I say not expensive, you know, several $1,000s a day. The expensive part comes when you're licensing music, archive, and editing the show, because that takes months. You know, and good editors, you know, charge $4,500, $5,000 a week. It's a great living, you know, and it's for months on end. Same thing with studio, you know, got to get into the studio, got to pay a producer, got to pay the musicians. And I want to add this, we didn't even talk about this. The band in the music video is none other than Jet and Jackson Humphrey, who are the sons of John Humphrey, the drummer for Seether.
And the Nixons.
And the Nixons, yeah. And the funny thing is, you know, when I toured with John, I live in Oklahoma. I live about 2 minutes away from John. And I've seen his sons play before. You know, they're great musicians. And I'm like, well, shit, we need a band. So I called John. I'm like, hey, man, you think the kids might want to jump into being this song? And they're like, well, let's ask them. So we asked them, and they're like, yeah, send me the song. Dude, and this was your first time meeting them.
It was.
And when I watched the video back, I'm like, this band's been together for 10 years. Like, it's crazy, man.
That was a quick gel too. It was very quick.
It was.
Man, both of them. All the Humphreys. I mean, they were John, Jet, Jackson. I mean, they were all just truly, truly not only kind, but professional too. You know, just good, down to earth people that you like to be around.
Yeah. Him and his wife both did just a great job raising those kids, man. They're super intelligent, super talented, and just good, kind people, man. You know,
very much.
Matter of fact, I didn't have anywhere to go for Christmas. They were like, "Hey, man, you want to come have Christmas with us?" And you know, I went over there not expecting anything, and next thing I'm leaving with a car full of gifts. You know, I'm like, "Shit, I feel like such an asshole because I didn't get them anything." I thought I was just going to go over there and have some, you know, pie and some coffee or whatever, but no, they included me in their whole Christmas thing. But anyway,
that's very cool.
Yeah, I cannot wait for next Wednesday, man. Like, I'm on the edge of my seat.
I mean, you know, me too. I just got just right before we hopped on this, I got the contract for our venue for this event.
Okay.
So
yeah.
Now I'm looking at. I'm second guessing, going, how many people did I invite? Because if all of them attend, I am going to go broke on food.
Oh man, I'm telling you, dude. Well, I got people coming here. You know, John, the kids, other friends. Like it'll be a packed house here too. And,
that's then we're gonna lock the doors and be like, all right, I need everybody to share.
Yep. And then at 7:05, everybody can go. Please leave the house. No, I'm sure we'll watch it on repeat 3 or 4 times, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna allow that. I'm gonna put that on a loop on a couple of the TVs in the actual thing. But in this area where you might have seen a clip of it in video, but it's a high-end car storage place. So they got you know, fancy, you know, Porsches and Lamborghinis in there, but they use it for weddings and other parties. So it's got a big projector and sound system in it. So we're gonna throw that on their big screen. And that's kind of the ambiance behind it. And then we'll be back in the kind of clubhouse room for eats and whatnot. All the catering will be there after the video show. So
right. Cool. Well, man, thanks for coming on real quick, and we'll get this thing out, and then urge everybody to watch the video drop at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. That's weird for me to say. But on Wednesday,
you're that former West Coast time.
I know, man. It's tough. Even having meetings because everybody's 2 hours behind. So, hey, can we meet at 5 o'clock? It's 7 o'clock here, and I'm like, I'm already fried from doing the whole day's work. You know, It is what it is. Anyway, thanks for coming on, brother.
Absolutely, brother. I'm looking forward to it, man.
Talk soon.
All right, man. Be good.